Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the 35th anniversary Siege Optimus Prime. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly with this thing. And, you know, this is a repaint of a mold that's exactly a year old, or maybe a little over a year old. And I think it's a pretty cool figure. I'm going to tell you what I like coming up. All right, so this is what it looks like in the packaging, and it looks really good. Man, it looks great. I like the packaging. I like the figure. I like the way it looks. I do, oddly enough, like the way they did the angle on this packaging, and it's pretty cool. Showing the figure in the back, pretty generic, but artwork on the side. Siege, War for Cybertron. So we're gonna look at this figure in alt mode here, and what you can see is one of the issues that we have is the kind of the breakup of how it looks in the cell shading of it. Now, it's not as bad as people have been saying. Now, people say that the cell shading is a bit off because the cell shading is really set up for the actual bot mode, but I don't see it looking that bad. I mean, this is the biggest complaint I've heard about this thing, is that the cell shading just doesn't match up when it's in alt mode, but it looks good in the bot mode. So we'll see it in bot mode here in a little bit, but I think it actually matches up rather well, and it works. You have paint just galore, paint everywhere on this thing, and well, that's a good thing, but I feel like I gotta be careful. I feel like I might chip some of it, believe it or not. That cell shading windows looks amazing, and that really is what put me over the top to order this guy. Just, it has none of that battle damage stuff. It is super clean looking, and I like that. I really do. I really do. It's got the white paint, the yellow paint, the orange paint right there, silver right here. Just, it looks beautiful paint-wise. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you. I don't like the design of the cab. And I know everyone's saying, well, it's Cybertronian, and that's, yeah, I know. I got it. I got it. It's Cybertronian. It's just, I like the original. I wish it would look like the original. And so I'm getting over that, but I love the bot mode mostly. So we're going to get into that. Let's go ahead and do some comparisons. So here he is next to Mirage and Willy from Generations Deluxe versions. So here, front angle, and now this is a $30 Voyager, and I think it's worth about 30 bucks, I guess you could say. And you can tell he's bigger than these deluxe guys. So, yeah, it'll work. Now for some accessories. He has his gun, and yeah, typical Optimus Prime gun. Looks pretty good. You can do whatever you want with the gun. You can plug it in multiple places, just like the other version. Plug it in the top. You can plug it in right here on the side. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. That's for the shield mostly. You can plug it in the back here. You can make it go sideways like that. How would that look? And really, I think you're supposed to plug it right there. Now, I want to say, I pointed out that with the cell shaded version, you lose some of this cell shading. They still painted it inside there, but it just looks kind of strange. If you were to have left these parts more like that, I don't know. That's just up to you. It looks better, I think, but you're supposed to have these out, so we're going to do that. But anyway, we're going to get into the transformation here in just a second. So he also comes with a shield axe. Now, this actually has some paint on it, so that's what it looks like with this cell shaded paint. Now, this little axe piece folds in and out, so you can make it into a shield, and this bigger one folds like that. So, and then if you fold it the right direction, you can fold it up and clip it on to, say, right here or something, and just have Prime armored up. All right, so let's go and transform this guy. First thing you want to do is you have to separate these pieces. That kind of locks it in place, locks the whole lower leg in place. Let's get a better angle on that. And then we can split the legs from here. Now looking at the back, I want to fold this down right away Those things popped off on me a little while ago, so I don't want to mess with that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and do the legs first. So the way the legs work is this folds around, and then this folds down backside. I don't want to chip any of that paint, and it tabs in like so, and then you just make the feet like usual. You got one leg. Move it over to here, same situation. We're going to rotate that over, and we're going to bring this down, tab it into place, and there we go. We got that. Now, looking at the top part of the cab, there's a couple things we got to do. We're going to open this up. We have to untab these pieces here on each side, and then clear the windshield, lift it out. Seems kind of simple. Okay, we're going to lower the tires, remove the arms, and then that's going to free all this up so that you can do the backpack. So, backpack, pretty simple. Close this down, close that down, flip it around, and his backpack's down there. I'm not going to do a giant head reveal since we're right here. Let's take the head out, close that up. Now, these tires, the wheels, they are on a double hinge joint that goes into place like so. Pretty simple. And I'm going to do the shoulders real fast and the arms. Okay, rotate this around to the back like this and fold that down, and we have an arm. Same over here. Okay, that just kind of rotated on its own. I don't know how that happened. And fold this down. And we're going to need to fold this down and flip the legs around. And we're almost there. Just make sure everything tabs into place just fine. And we're going to have a look at this guy. So we're going to have a look at this guy here and kind of just check him out. Now look at the head on it. I think it looks nice. And there is, if you can't see it on there, let me see if I can get it to show up. He has a little bit of white on his, right here on his mouthpiece. It's gray, and then there's like a white, like it's shining off of there. That's cool. He's got the blue eyes, silver right here painted. This all looks good. And then you can see how the cell shading goes in there. And then there's even cell shading in with the yellow. It just looks good the way they did this. I think it's a nice looking figure, a nice looking bot. Now, as for the mold itself, I don't like the kibble on the arms. This kibble right here that's on the arms is part of the reason I don't like the cab mode. If they would have made it look more G1, this actually would have been less kibble and would have been less of an eyesore in both modes, in my opinion. And then back here on this, like, you wouldn't have seen this. This should have been cut off right here. Like, this would not even have existed. So, like, there's so much. They could have made this into like a more perfect G1. But we know we got Earthrise coming. But then again, there's some things people like about this one over Earthrise, and I'm starting to see it now that I have it in hand. It is a little unsightly to see the wheels right here. So, but it's not that big of a deal. Aside from that, kibble on the arms. Really, the kibble on the arms, that little bit on the backpack, which isn't a big deal. That's all I have to say negative. Everything else is just outstanding. And I'm gonna go put his weapons in here. He has this shield, and they always showed it with him holding a shield in the Earthrise one. So we'll just have that there. I'm curious, am I the only one that keeps popping this peg off the axe? Because I don't know, I didn't hear of anyone else having that problem, so maybe it's a me thing. But yeah, there he is with his axe. How's that look? What I think is the gold standard, which is the MP10V, and it feels so much different now. There's pluses and minuses to each of these. Looking at the pelvis area, they're very similar, and the lower legs are cleaner on this. Now they're not as clean because of the MP10 design, and that's been my biggest complaint about MP10. So the engineering on this I like better than what they did with this, but the way the wheels are showing, it needed one more panel, and it would have been almost perfect, to tell you the truth. Looking at the back, I think MP10 wins in the back in some parts. I mean, because there's openings in there, and yeah, no need to nitpick a year-old toy and against a 12-year-old toy. No, 7-year-old toy. But yeah, let's go ahead and get a couple others in here. Here's our good friend Megatron and his cell shading, which we have him coming up. Well, I'll check him out, and I'm going to see if somewhere in there I can turn him into a gun. Yeah, that's the kind of things we do these days. So here he is in comparison to two of his other Voyager size and Voyager class figures. Now, let's get this size changed. He's a little taller than Springer, and he's a little taller than the Thundercracker over there. And that's where he's supposed to be. Springer's still a bit too small. Now, since I have this, I have held off on Siege, and now I've started letting it trickle into my collection. And I'm gonna use this quick second to tell you about some complaints I have about all three of these figures. This knee is still real loose, and it sucks. Okay, so that is a problem when he keeps falling over when I pose him. Now, I know of it, so I can deal with it. This falls off, and these two pieces, well, the kneecaps, I guess you could say, whenever I fold them over, they fall off. That's really easy for me. Now, maybe I'm just too rough with it. I'll accept that. This null ray falls out all of the time. So those are not major issues, aside from like my minor nitpicks. All three of these are great figures, but I just figured I'd point that out real quick. Here are some KO oversized Oimek figures, and this guy feels cold, like he's got some die cast, like that's die cast. Like I don't know. That feels, maybe it's just because it's so cold out here, but this whole touch method. Anyway, that's how he looks with the Oimek figures. Everyone seems to say that these are too big, and yeah, they probably are, because I will be getting the Voyager upscaled version of Prime to go with them. Now, let's go ahead and look at a little bit more articulation, and then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, his head. It actually has quite a bit of, you get like that little bit of a look down, and he can go up, and it's all the way around, so it's pretty good articulation there. His arm, okay, this goes up, and he gets almost, pretty much right at a 90. And of course that goes all the way around, and then you've got past the 90 right there. You know, you could pop these pieces here off and make for a better looking arm too. They just pop right off and pop right back in. How do I know? Huh? It happened to me. Okay, waist swivel works really well, and then you can do pretty much anything with this leg, and it holds. I mean, it should hold a kick. Let's see if we can hold the kick. You can hold the kick. That works. Okay, anyway, you get the full splits out of it, and you can go all the way forward, almost to 90, both directions, and then you have the swivels at the knee, and you have a swivel. So you got a multi-swivel there. And then this knee, I mean, it MP44s it, doesn't it? And then the ankle tilt rocker and the toe tilt. Okay, there we go. So quite articulated. So this is a very nice looking Optimus Prime. I like the way he looks in his robot mode, his alt mode. It looks good. I just don't like the extra little kibble that turns it into that Cybertronian look. And that's just a personal preference. I know a lot of people say they like it. For this specifically with the cell shading, I love the cell shading. If Hasbro had done this from the get-go, I would have been buying all of them from the get-go. And I don't see plans for them doing any more in the future. I haven't seen it announced. I would like to see them do it, and especially since it costs the same price as the original, it is awesome. Maybe that's just because they're trying to find another use for 1-year-old mold. But anyway, let me know what you think about this guy. Do you have the first one? Do you have them both? Or are you just waiting for Earthrise? Like, subscribe, and Platinum Hair out.